Hey guys, I'm still Zach, and this is my old piano. I think audio might be messed up. Let's just roll with it. We're gonna roll with this. You know what? Let's check this. I'm gonna pause the video here, and I'm just gonna make sure that this thing is actually recording and that we're getting audio and that it doesn't suck and all that jazz. So I'll be back with you in one internet second. All right, we're officially back at it. Audio is working. Your internet second was brief but fulfilling, I hope. Um, let's just dive right into this, you guys. So, I'm gluing the friggin' action, okay? This is the action of the piano. I don't know if I have filmed this yet. Um, this is the hammers that strike the strings. Okay, the keys are over here. You press a key, and the hammer goes up. Pretty simple, pretty elegant. Everything is very light wood. It's very dry. That's one of the things that I was mentioning in the audio or in the video that got deleted previously. So everything's freaking beeping over here, dude. I don't know what is going on. Check my. Okay. So I'm new with all this stuff, you guys. I'm gonna just get comfortable here. I'm here on the loading dock in my storage unit at the Park Trade Center, and I do feel a little ridiculous talking to all these cameras. I'm sure people are like walking by going, is there just like somebody talking to themselves? But like, whatever, this is a building full of creatives, so eventually people are going to figure out that I'm just like filming a YouTube series here. So everybody's just going to have to get over it. Um, anyway, what I was able to do and in the film that got corrupted was I glued a few of the hammers. So I do have some pictures that I took. I guess I'll insert them now, of the hammers that I fixed, and um, we'll just kind of like dive right back into it, I guess. It looks like they're holding. My options here, of course. I guess let's talk about this a little bit, you guys. So this piano is 200 years old, or almost 250, or 150 years old. Whatever. It's beside the point. It's not quite dated yet. I will eventually get to all of the provenance of this thing. Um, but we're fixing the hammers, and they just got broken by a bunch. A couple of them were broken to begin with, and then I broke a couple more, pulling the action out because I had no idea what I was doing. This whole endeavor is a fly by the seat of your pants type situation. So, um, at first, I wanted to do only period materials when I was restoring this piano. I wanted to get into hide glue and shellac and all of that type of fun stuff. But, I got to be realistic here. And what I want, first of all, is to have the piano playable. So that way I kind of know what I'm even getting myself into. And so this is kind of the first steps to seeing if I want to do a full restoration on this piano. And I mean, these things are pretty significantly deteriorated. Let's go in. This is a perfect example. Like, you can see that this is deerskin leather, and it's actually supposed to be wrapped all the way around the felting here, and that goes up for like 3 octaves. Um, the deerskin starts here and actually goes all the way up to the higher registers. So I don't know what that note is. I can't see, and they're not like identified here on the back end of the action at all. But it's kind of mid-range, middle C and up. I want to say there's like 5 octaves or 6 octaves on this piano. It's certainly not 88 key. I never bothered to count. I guess at some point I will. So we have successfully glued 3, and the reason I was talking about the decision regarding using period materials was that, shellac has a shelf life. This thing is going to take me years to do. I don't really know what I'm messing with, and so I just kind of decided to use whatever I had. I don't need to be true to the master craftsmen of this piano, like that have been dead for 2 generations or 3 generations. I just want a piano. So we're not going to stress out too much about period appropriate restoration skills yet. Maybe further on down the line, I do have some ideas for this channel. We'll see what happens. Maybe I will start getting into some period appropriate restoration techniques, but as for now, I'm just going to use what I know about woodworking and material science, and kind of use what I've got available to me. I'm kind of on a low budget right now. It's a slow time of year for me in the real estate industry. I am not an agent, I'm a real estate photographer. But YouTube is something that I've been kind of playing around with for years, and just figured this piano would be something fun. I've actually been trying to find piano restoration channels on YouTube, and they're obviously there, or piano restoration videos anyway. But I haven't seen a lot of, series. And so I thought that would be something fun to do. So let's get cracking on this bad boy. I'm just using a little stuff stuck there. I'm using a syringe here with just wood glue in it. And I've got some little strips of masking tape over here that I'm using to get a little bit of clamping pressure on my gluing areas. And the reason that I opted to go with masking tape, there is a repair, a historical repair on this thing, way down on the lowest note, where it looks like the hammer broke off in kind of the same way that all these broke off. And they actually glued it and used fishing line wrapped around. And I thought about, up until about 45 minutes before I started gluing today, I was going to use fishing line as well. But it turned out I had some masking tape here, and I thought, well, that gives a little bit more even clamping pressure, and it's going to be significantly easier to manage. And also, like, it just seemed to make more sense, like, pragmatically. It was going to have the little clamping pressure. It was going to hold the glue squeeze out in. It's still pretty lightweight, similar to the fishing line. So I just figured this was a good workaround. Let's get to glue in here. Here's the next one. Yeah, and again, you see right in here. Oh, shoot. I didn't mean to do that. Well, I guess we're going to wood glue that deer skin on. So, anyway, right in here, you can see the deterioration of that deer skin, and the felt's going to need to be redone on all these hammers, and that's something that I'm going to have to learn how to do later. But for now, as I said, our plan is to just get this thing going. We want to get this piano playing and diagnose the rest of the problems from that point onward. So let's get a little bit of glue applied here. So far, this has been working really well. I'm really happy with how well this has been working. These syringes are just great. Allow me to get the glue right where I need it. And then afterward, you can kind of use the tip, just the tip, LOL, and kind of smear it around a little bit. So that is very helpful. Now we're going to get a significant amount of squeeze out here, I'm sure. Yep. Oof. Can't be dropping this thing. You know what? I should have dry fit this one before. But we're in good shape here. Significant amount of squeeze out. So Let's try to mitigate that a little bit before we move on to the masking tape and final positioning. Let's get this masking tape on here. Oh yeah, this is just perfect. So, you know, as I wrap this masking tape around, it just kind of lets me add a little bit of finger pressure without feeling like I'm going to push it out of position. And I'm so glad I decided to do that, because it's just really working well. Yep, everything seems to be fitting pretty good. Now, one thing you'll notice too is that there's a lot of play in these. There is just a significant amount of play. And so that one that we were working on earlier seems to be getting pretty close to his brother there. But that might actually just be because we've got the clamp on there. So I'm not going to concern myself with that too much. I don't want to adopt a good enough is fine approach with this project, but I do want to be realistic in my expectations. I don't want to I guess I don't really know what I'm trying to say. I don't want to make it out like I am a master instrument restoration expert, because I'm definitely not. But I have been playing for 25, 26 years. I've been around a lot of broken instruments. And I got a lot of luthier friends. I got a lot of woodworking friends, just being in the arts community in general. So I think I'm going to be able to crowdsource whatever I don't understand. And, you know, of course, my father has a lot of woodworking knowledge and skills, so I'll consult him. There's also a known collaborator of mine, Jerry Hess, who I know through family and through the Alliance of Kalamazoo Artists. So I've kind of talked to him about this project a little bit too, but kind of as we wait for this glue to cure up and I kind of do my final positioning here, here, let's take the wide shots. Yeah, guys, this just falls beautifully here. Let's see if I can bring this camera in. Yeah, let's switch over here. So these guys, you know, they're aligned pretty well. They're allowed to just kind of fall freely. But you can see how that deer skin's just going to interfere with the bouncing action. That's that freshly glued one, so you don't want to do too much. Let's get the prop back up on him. So, anyway, let's try to talk about some of the things that I had discussed in the video that ended up getting corrupted. So, obviously, I promised a video of the moving of the piano. But guys, it was an ordeal. You know, I had the trailer reservation, I had 3 dudes to help me, all the time scheduled, everything ready to go. And then the transmission dropped on my Jeep. So I had to take care of that. Next one up is going to be over here. That looks like you. This time we're going to dry fit like smart people. Yeah, that's the spot right there, guys. Right there. Okay, perfect. Let's get some glue on her. I'm sorry about the focus on this, guys. I do have better cameras, but this is just like what's convenient and able to be plugged in via USB, and like eventually I'll get some nice cameras on this. Actually, the wide shot is my Nikon D500 with a Sigma 17 to 50 on it. It's a f2.8 lens. It's probably at like 6.3 or 7.1 or somewhere in there, 5 right now. Probably going all over the place with ISO, I would imagine, as well. Because that's the camera I usually use for real estate property tours. And I've got it set on auto ISO. It's fairly dark in here, even with the little LED light I got on, so let's get this masking tape over here. Stuck to itself. Rats. Good thing we got another. Yeah, just too much glue squeeze out. Just rub that on my fingers here. Give you another little angle here as we monkey about here. I'm going to pre-attach the masking tape to the item we're gluing on. Come on, pal. Gotta be so careful to not hit the other hammers. Oof, I think I got it this time, guys. Yep. Get in there, puppy. Nice. That is an acceptable fitment. Let's let it cure up a little bit. That one's pretty broad. A lot of glue on there. Let's make a few more little masking tape strips because I'm running out. So anyway, moving this freaking thing, you guys. It was a nightmare. The transmission in my Jeep dropped out, so I had to reschedule. And then on the day of, we go pick up the piano. Everything's going fine. And sure enough, friggin' transmission starts spinning up on the way home because it's blasting coolant out of the water pump. So that had to get fixed too. Life goes on though, you know? It's just a stupid car. Pay for it. It's over with. Back to fixing pianos. So my hands are covered in glue and masking tape residue now. Finally got ourselves a good little strip here. I like about that much is how much I've been using. Yeah, guys, also the U-Haul frame was rusted. Well, ridiculous, but that's life. So we're here. The piano is here. We're all in one piece. Everybody survived, but sadly, I did not take any video of moving the piano. I'm not sorry. It wasn't that interesting, to be honest. You know, we rolled it down a hallway, rolled it into an elevator, brought it down 2 floors, rolled it off the elevator, picked it up and put it in the back of a U-Haul trailer, drove it to Kalamazoo, did the same thing in reverse, and then left because it was nasty, rainy, late October, early November day. I don't even remember when we did it. It's like December 30th right now, I think, 30th or 29th or something. And that gives you kind of time frame that I'm working with here. I think I started filming these videos in September. I probably won't actually release any of them until like January, like mid-January, late January, probably. We'll see. I'm gonna roll with this. Let's let this guy down. Yeah. Doing okay, guys. We're doing good. Got one more here. And that'll actually be all the gluing for the day. This one does look like it could be a challenge. Not a lot of space there on this one. Here, let's take you down. Let's see if this focuses a little bit better. So we got not much area to work with and not much area to tape. This is the one that I've been kind of dreading the most. So there's really only one way to do this, guys. Let's just dive right in. Again, I got a syringe of wood glue here that is really starting to firm up in there, making little boogers. Just bonked that one. I'll have to check that in a second. Let's get a little bit of glue on this thing. Get a little glue in our lives. That is too much. Nice thing about wood glue, you can just kind of rub it off your fingers. That's pretty cool. I guess, is that because it's polyvinyl acetate glue? I'm not sure. Can't believe that's kind of staying on with my thumb pressure there, you guys. It's actually not bad. Oh, hey, look at that. She just broke off. I've been worrying about that happening. Well, get this on there tight. Now, we've got a new problem to fix. Isn't that just pleasant? Huh. Looks like it's going to go back together pretty good though, guys. I'm not too worried. It kind of broke right on the shaft there. So, I'm going to set this aside. And let's actually pause. I'm going to assess this situation and get this thing out of here and actually just glue that since we're here gluing anyway. Um, wouldn't you know it's the last one, the last freaking one, and something breaks. But you cannot win doing this, you guys. It's always going to be something. The videos aren't going to work. They're not going to record. There's just so many factors that can go wrong doing stuff like this. You just got to play with the punches and just keep going, because it will overwhelm you and you have to persevere. So we're going to do a little bit of creative problem solving, and yeah, we'll go get a screwdriver. See you in a minute. Okay, we're back at it. And it's funny. I've got all this stuff set up on my toolbox right here. So I've got to use the flathead screwdriver that I keep on my keys. It'll work. Let's go back to this guy real quick. It's looking all right. You can see where it broke off. There's a little pivot point right here. Right here. And so it broke off right in there. So let's put him back home and dig in. It's really interesting to think about the fact that the last person to unscrew this screw has probably been dead for 100 years or more. It's really kind of an honor to work on something like this. The craftsmanship is just masterful, and I mean, I'm sure that's true of most high quality pianos, but it's just amazing working on this thing. To think that with rudimentary machine tools, they were able to create these things. I'm just amazed. So there's a little pin that sets in there, and a little set screw that keeps tension on it, and a felt retainer. Just making sure this thing is glued all right. So let's take this little set screw out of here. My phone's going off. Let's see if we can get that little pin out. Ever so gently pull on that pin with my fingernails. Trying not to lose it. Pop that right in my mouth there. Got our little piece. Put that pin right back in for the time being. Ooh. This stuff is so small, so fragile. Reset that pin. Close it right on up. Let that stuff set. All right. So fits right back in like a glove. It's interesting, they actually put this in on a knot of wood. It's not something you would see a modern craftsman do, I don't think. I guess I could be wrong there, but I don't think so. So I'm going to put a very small amount of glue on this. Let's zoom in a little bit past my gut there. How does that look? Okay. Yeah. Sorry guys, again, I do have better cameras. But this is just, these are all easy, small, don't take a lot of battery up. It just seems to be the way to go. I'm actually going to use one of these needles to act like the pin in there. Once I get her glued. Other way. Nice. Oh, she's not too thick, is she? Oh, she's too thick, boys. It ain't gonna work. Just barely, though. It's okay. You know what we ought to do? Is put the real pin in there. So let's take this screw out. That's good because that glue's curing up. Cool. So I'll let this bad boy set up and we can kind of wrap up with our video here. So I guess the next step after this is probably going to be putting the action back in. And then, I mean, that's literally just like a 2-second job. It's sitting right there. I'm just going to rotate this around and kind of tuck it right in there and push. I'm going to do it by myself. I shouldn't need that much help from anybody. Of course, there's plenty of people that will help me in the building, but this is kind of an exciting conclusion to be at, guys. I've been waiting to glue this action for weeks on end. I come down here every day and just look at the thing in my storage unit like someday soon I'm gonna get that 6 square feet back. So it's really exciting. Yeah, it's really exciting to see this thing almost done. And I'll be able to actually play the piano again, all the notes. And, you know, I feel really confident in what I've picked up along the way here. It was really a stroke of near genius to use the masking tape instead of fishing line. I'm really glad that I did that. Yeah, so I think bondoing the cracks in the legs and repairing the screws on the legs is going to be the next thing that we try to do. And then repairing the cuffs around the casters. And then at that point, we might want to think about building a platform, constructing a platform for the piano to set on, and then disassembling the structure that I've got it on right now, and maybe reinforcing it a little bit or something like that. I haven't quite decided what I want to do. But the rest of my large keyboard instruments are all on pallets, and I want to do the same thing with this piano so that it's not actually going to be relying on its own casters to roll around in the future. Once I have the thing stabilized, I'm actually just going to kind of build a crate underneath it to cradle it a little bit in case one of the legs fail. But I'm gonna let it sit on the legs to support a majority of its weight. I'm just gonna give a little bit of support underneath it. And that way it can be moved around, it can be shipped. Um, I'll never have to really take it off that platform again once it's on there. So we'll construct it nicely, and of course we'll film all of that too. So let's give all this stuff a day to cure, I guess, and we'll come back and see what's what, and pop the action back in and call it an episode. Well, that's the first time that the piano action has been 100% complete and intact in probably 30 years. So that's a really great milestone. Well, hey guys, it's officially 24 hours later, and all these repairs seem to have worked fairly well. A little bit of glue here and there, things not quite lined up as they should be, but for being 160 years old, she's not doing too bad. So what do you say? You want to toss her in there? Because I do. I definitely want to play this thing tonight. So I think what I should do, just being sensible here, is I should spend some time cleaning up the top so we can actually see it and have it look good. So I'm going to throw on a time lapse on the old GoPro here, and we'll get this cleaned up, turn her around, scooch her right on in. All right, guys, here goes nothing. Took this thing out about a year and a half ago. Should go in without too much of a problem. All right, you guys ready? All right, so obviously there's a lot of work to do, but she makes sound, guys.